Now joined with Trent Richardson, first-round draft pick of the Cleveland Browns and former running back at the University of Alabama. Let's start with your Alabama days. Played under Nick Saban. What was it like playing under a coach that, I mean, just the history and the knowledge of the football patrolling the sidelines like that?
Really just playing on Coach Saban, it was a much honor. And the stuff that he left, I left with Alabama, coming in as a young boy, a teenager, and leaving as a grown man. And, you know, for what he done did with the program, the whole program turned it around, and it showed me in life, just not only being a football player, a human being. It's a lot of positive stuff, and I have a lot of respect for him in the program around there.
And anybody that talks about you in your Alabama days, they talk about your work ethic. They say, you know, you were constantly on the field, getting yourself better, and then you were in the weight room, getting yourself better. Where did that drive and inspiration come from?
Really just from, you know, being younger and the youngest in the house, and having big brothers that's, all my brothers was over 6'3", and I was the youngest, I was the rank. And really just watching my mom grow up, man. She worked 2 or 3 jobs, and these times, and she didn't even, you know, want to come home and clean up, but she did, and that's just always been a drive for me. And I had 2 kids when I was in high school, so I had to do something. And I was just being, you know, just influenced by, you know, having my little girl smiling and you know, just putting food on the table for them. And so I know if I wasn't working, I wasn't going to be able to be here today.
And it paid off for you. You are here today. Take me back to that April night NFL draft. A lot of people had you projected to go very high. Where did you think you were going to go? And when the Browns traded up to 3 and gave you a call and said you're going to be our guy at 3, your emotions when that happened?
Really just coming back from that whole night, I just knew in my gut feeling, I just knew I was going to go pretty high. I played pretty good and very consistent all 3 years when I was at Alabama. And for me, that's just confidence I have in my game. You know, not to be big-headed or nothing like that, just being an athlete and just being a football player.
Get ready to move.
I mean, but, you know, just the whole time that night was very anxious getting up to that moment, but when I got in that room, it was like, oh, it's finally here. I don't know where I'm going to be at. You know, everybody talk about the running backs not being picked high.
Now we got it going.
But a gut feeling I wasn't going to get past Cleveland. And, you know, that's one thing that always been a great feeling to have. And, you know, they had number 4 pick. I didn't know they were going to trade it to number 3. You know what I mean? But I know them and Temple was fighting back and forth. And, you know, when I got here on my visit, I just knew this was the place to be, though.
And you were just the beginning of the 2012 NFL draft class for the Browns that started with you. They went to Brandon Weeden, and they just concluded a couple days ago with a wide receiver from Baylor and Josh Gordon. What's the ceiling for a group that's so young like that, and what's it like coming in knowing that everyone's kind of in the same playing level?
Just a lot of rebuilding and just a lot of, you know, just adding on new additions to the program that, you know, that we hope and that we think in our mind that we're going to, you know, build on and make the program way better. And so, you know, I think the offensive part, I think we need the scores, you know, for the Cleveland Browns. And that's one thing Coach added on. That's one thing that we build on every day. And we gelling as a team, everybody working hard. And so us to be this young, I think it's going to be good for the long run. And, you know, when it get down to the middle of the season, you know, when people say the rookie wall, I think that we're going to all, you know, have that same attitude as that we're going to work no matter what because everybody's counting us out.
And you're in the AFC North, very tough defensive division. It's a rough schedule, too. As a running back, just how do you match up against these defenses? What do you need to do personally to get back to, you know, what you were doing in college here at the NFL level?
Me personally, I just need to stay on course and, you know, work hard and always study the game, always stay a student of the game, and talk to my defense guys a lot. And that's one thing I have learned since being in the NFL, that your defense guys want to show you everything they can do for you to be successful. So as far as me doing a running play or doing a passing pro, my stance or what I need to make my technique better at, that's one thing I talk to my defense guys and get, you know, information from them that, okay, what do I need to know? And especially for the older guys, the vets, they tell you so much about your game that you wouldn't even know. And it just be like, man, how do y'all figure this out that fast? And so it's a lot of stuff that I got to work on, but when it comes to playing the Steelers, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and a better Cincinnati team, I think I'm going to be ready.
You haven't been in Cleveland long, just about 3 months. You've been a Brown. Your perception of the city so far?
Oh, man, I love the city. I love the fans. They embrace me, and they treat me with a lot of respect. And like I said, it's just an honor to be here, and it's a blessing. And you know, this town is, you know, very similar to Alabama. They're very, very hungry, got a lot of tradition here, and they ready to win.
And as we said, you haven't been here very long, but already you're giving back to the community. You're out here hosting this pro camp in Strongsville. Talk to me about what you're doing out here with these kids, and if you can leave them with one thing, what's the most important thing you want these kids to take away from this weekend?
One of the most important things is to always stay prayed up and stay humble. And I use that in any method I do, and anything I do. I always stay positive about any situation, and I never get down on myself. And, you know, for me to be just who I am today, I try to make most negative stuff and turn into positive things. And I want this group of kids here to always know that football is a place where you'll get discipline from, and you earn a lot of respect from, and you can be a big influence on your community anywhere you go to.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but before we let you go, 2012 NFL Browns, your prediction. What's the record going to be at the end? Are you going to be in the hunt as the playoffs come around?
We're going to be in the playoffs. And I don't know what the record's going to be, but we're going to have a win the season, and we're going to be in the hunt for the playoffs.
All right. Thanks a lot. Trent Richardson will be suiting up, number 33 for the Cleveland Browns, on the field this 2012 season.